talk about is risk-based thinking, how monitors develop an auditor's perspective. And as an auditor and as a trainer, I like to ensure when we're working with monitors, we're teaching them to think this way, particularly because of the risk-based monitoring. But even before risk-based monitoring came into effect, we know that monitors are going out much more frequently than auditors. So getting auditors to share information, share tools with monitors in terms of how they approach things, how you follow up on things, not just checking a box that you've looked at something, but what does it really mean? What are we finding when we are identifying issues or action items? How do we follow up on that? How do we bring that investigator into compliance? And so we're going to talk about utilizing auditing techniques when performing those monitoring tasks and define proper monitoring or adequate monitoring and who's responsible for its conduct. We'll look at monitoring findings within the context of regulatory risk and review standard monitoring report templates and discuss ways to adapt them to develop a compliance assessment tool. So using monitoring visit reports as compliance assessment tools is what we do in auditing, using those reports as such. And it's really important that we're not just going through the motions of monitoring, but we are adding value into what we're doing, and we're assessing the level of compliance or non-compliance, unfortunately. And we're addressing it early, and we are ensuring that prompt compliance. So we'll talk about processes for discerning patterns and information that's reviewed, and as well explore methods for developing monitoring tools that facilitate a systems review of your sites and how we communicate findings. So we have to think first of an audit. An audit is a systematic and independent examination of trial-related activities and documents to make sure that we're compliant. So as I always say, our product in clinical research is getting credible data from protected subjects. As auditors, we are certainly stewards for that individual and the public's health, but as monitors, you are in a critical position to kind of balance the information that's required from the sponsor to get what you need to support that your product is safe and effective, to submit that to the regulatory authorities, but also to be on the lookout for areas in where you might start seeing a pattern in terms of noncompliance, the tip of the iceberg perhaps. You guys really are the eyes and ears of what's going on out there, so we have to ensure that that information is being captured and being reported and communicated in a way that we can act upon it. Quality assurance are planned and systematic actions. So as we'll see in auditing, we've twice now talked about quality assurance and auditing, and we've talked about systems. We are ensuring that we are meeting our requirements of getting credible data from protected subjects. We have followed our protocol, followed the applicable regulations and requirements, followed good clinical practice. Monitoring is a more in-process task. So as you look at ICH's definition of auditing, you'll see that it was retrospective to make sure things were done appropriately. We are working on trying to be more real-time in our audits, maybe be proactive in our audits, but monitoring is something that we're going to be doing before, during, and after that study. So it's the act of overseeing the progress of a clinical trial and making sure that it is being conducted in accordance with the regulatory requirements, the protocol, SOPs, and GCP. It is an ongoing process, and it takes place under the umbrella of auditing. So auditing and monitoring have to be separate and independent. They are looking for similar things, however. Monitoring happens, as I said, under the umbrella of auditing, and that when we go in and audit a site, for example, we are also auditing the monitors. We're auditing the sponsor. We're auditing the IRB, because this is where everything comes together. So both quality assurance and quality control, auditing and monitoring, are focused on compliance and conduct, but they use different approaches in how they get there. They come together in quality improvement. Quality improvement is a continuous process that identifies problems in systems, examines solutions to those problems, and then regularly monitors those solutions for improvement with a lowercase m. So what did you find? What did it mean? What did you do? Has it been addressed? So we're looking at that in both monitoring and auditing. We identify a problem. That is the easiest part of monitoring and of auditing. Something's not right. Assessing the root cause or why this occurred is critical for understanding What do we do about it? So one of the concerns that we have seen over the last several years is that as we bring in quality by design, quality improvement, corrective and preventive action planning, root cause analysis, those sort of things from manufacturing, we're thinking of them in our old mindset. CAPAs are not a new note to file. Root cause is not going to be staff error each time, right? That's never a proper response. So identification of the problem is the easy part, but we are tasked with determining why did this happen?